Gentlemen, I want you to do something right now. Walk to your kitchen, open your cabinet, and look for one bottle. A bottle of extra virgin olive oil. Not a supplement, not a prescription. Because what I am about to tell you is going to completely change how you think about that ordinary kitchen staple. And specifically about what happens to your testosterone, your blood vessels, and your erection quality when you take it at a very specific time each night. This is not a folk remedy. This is a protocol backed by clinical research from multiple peer-reviewed institutions, and it is producing results in men over 50 that most urologists are not yet aware of, because this research is only now filtering into mainstream medical practice. I am Dr. Calvin Harper, and today I am going to walk you through the complete science of nighttime olive oil consumption, what it does to your endocrine system while you sleep, how it affects blood flow to erectile tissue, and exactly how to use it for maximum results. Pay close attention because the timing, the type of olive oil, and the dose all matter enormously. Get them wrong and you will see nothing. Get them right and men consistently report waking up with the erection strength they had in their mid-20s. Let us begin with the biological foundation, because you need to understand what is happening in your body between the ages of 50 and 70. To appreciate why olive oil taken at night is so strategically powerful, testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. This is a fact most men have heard, but few truly understand the implications of. Your body cannot produce testosterone without an adequate supply of dietary fat, specifically the kind of clean, structured fat that your Leydig cells can use as raw material for the steroidogenesis pathway. When men over 50 reduce their fat intake, as many do in response to cardiovascular concerns, they inadvertently cut the supply of the very substrate their testes need to produce testosterone. The result is an entirely self-inflicted hormonal deficiency on top of the age-related decline that was already occurring. Extra virgin olive oil solves this problem with extraordinary elegance. It is approximately 73% oleic acid, a monounsaturated fatty acid, that has been shown in research published in the journal Lipids in Health and Disease to be selectively taken up by Leydig cells in the testes and used preferentially in the synthesis of testosterone precursors. The most remarkable clinical evidence of this comes from a controlled trial conducted in Morocco, published in the journal Natural Product Communications. In this study, men who consumed extra virgin olive oil daily for just 3 weeks experienced an average increase in serum testosterone of 17.4%. Their luteinizing hormone, the pituitary signal that commands the testes to produce testosterone, increased by an extraordinary 42.6%. These are not marginal improvements. These are hormonal shifts that transform how a man feels, functions, and performs sexually. Now here is the question most people never think to ask. Why at night specifically? Why does the timing of olive oil consumption make such a dramatic difference? The answer is rooted in the circadian biology of testosterone production. Research published in the Journal of Andrology confirms that testosterone synthesis in the testes follows a clear circadian rhythm. Testosterone levels begin rising within the first hour of sleep onset and reach their absolute peak during the first complete sleep cycle, typically occurring between 90 minutes and 4 hours after you fall asleep. The Leydig cells in your testes are most metabolically active during this window, which means they require the most raw material, including dietary fat, during this period. When you consume extra virgin olive oil with your evening meal or as a small preparation before bed, the oleic acid is absorbed and enters your circulation during the 2 to 3 hours before and after sleep onset, precisely the window when your Leydig cells are ramping up testosterone production to their peak rate. You are not just providing fat, you are providing it on a schedule that is synchronized with your body's own hormonal production cycle. This is strategic nutrition, not casual supplementation. But the testosterone story is only half of why nighttime olive oil is so powerful for erection quality. The other half is about what olive oil's polyphenol compounds do to the endothelium, the blood vessel lining, while you sleep. Extra virgin olive oil contains 2 remarkable polyphenols that deserve specific attention. The first is Oleocanthal, a compound that inhibits COX-2, the enzyme that drives the inflammatory cascade damaging endothelial cells and reducing their capacity to produce nitric oxide. By suppressing COX-2 activity overnight, Oleocanthal allows your endothelial cells to recover and begin producing nitric oxide more efficiently. The second polyphenol is oleuropein, which directly activates endothelial nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme inside blood vessel walls responsible for producing nitric oxide. Research from the University of Athens found that daily consumption of extra virgin olive oil significantly improved flow-mediated dilation, the standard clinical measurement of endothelial function, by 4.1% after 8 weeks of consistent use. In vascular medicine, a 4.1% improvement in flow-mediated dilation translates to meaningfully better blood flow to peripheral tissues, including erectile tissue. Now let us get precise about what type of olive oil actually delivers these benefits, because this is where most men make a critical mistake. Not all olive oil is created equal. In fact, most olive oil sold in supermarkets contains negligible concentrations of oleocanthal and oleuropein, and will produce none of the clinical benefits I have described. The problem is processing. Standard refined olive oil undergoes industrial heat treatment and chemical processing that strips out the vast majority of polyphenols. Extra virgin olive oil, produced by cold mechanical pressing of fresh olives with no heat above 27 degrees Celsius and no chemical processing, preserves the full polyphenol profile. But even within the extra virgin category, polyphenol content varies enormously, by as much as 18-fold between different products. The markers of a genuinely high polyphenol extra virgin olive oil are a harvest date on the label rather than just a best buy date, a cloudy or slightly green-gold appearance indicating minimal filtration, a distinctly peppery burning sensation at the back of the throat when tasted neat. This burn is the direct sensory indicator of oleocanthal presence, and storage in a dark glass bottle rather than clear glass or plastic. If your olive oil tastes like nothing, it contains nothing. A good extra virgin olive oil should taste assertive, peppery, and slightly bitter. The dose that research supports for measurable testosterone and endothelial benefits is 1 to 2 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil daily. For the nighttime protocol, take 1 tablespoon with your evening meal. Now I want to introduce the second ingredient that transforms the basic olive oil protocol into a comprehensive erection restoration system: raw honey. Not commercial honey, raw, unprocessed, unheated honey. The distinction matters enormously. Commercial honey is pasteurized at high temperatures that destroy the vast majority of its bioactive compounds. Commercial honey is essentially sugar. Raw honey is pharmacologically complex. It contains chrysin, a flavonoid shown to independently stimulate endothelial cells to produce nitric oxide through a mechanism completely separate from olive oil's oleuropein pathway. It contains boron, a trace mineral shown in research from the National College of Naturopathic Medicine to increase free testosterone by 29.5% within just 8 days of supplementation. By reducing sex hormone-binding globulin, the protein that binds testosterone and removes it from biological availability. And raw honey contains prebiotic compounds that nourish the beneficial oral bacteria responsible for converting dietary nitrates to nitrite, the first step of the alternative nitric oxide production pathway. Add 1 teaspoon of raw honey to your evening olive oil preparation and stir together. The third ingredient to add is black seed oil, also called Nigella sativa oil. Its primary active compound, thymoquinone, is a potent antioxidant that specifically protects Leydig cells from the oxidative damage that accumulates with age and progressively impairs their testosterone production capacity. A study published in the journal Phytomedicine found that Nigella sativa supplementation for 3 months significantly increased serum testosterone, luteinizing hormone, and follicle-stimulating hormone, while simultaneously reducing oxidative stress markers in the reproductive system. Add half a teaspoon of black seed oil to your nighttime preparation alongside the olive oil and raw honey. The complete nighttime protocol is 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of raw unprocessed honey, and half a teaspoon of black seed oil, stirred together and consumed 30 minutes before bed every night. The mechanism that makes this timing so uniquely powerful is the convergence of 3 biological processes that all peak during sleep. First, testosterone production peaks during deep sleep, providing Leydig cells with fat substrate via the olive oil at precisely the right time. Second, The body's anti-inflammatory repair processes are most active during sleep, giving Oleocanthal its longest uninterrupted window to reduce endothelial inflammation. Third, growth hormone, released in its largest pulse during deep sleep, is supported by oleic acid in the cellular signaling pathways that respond to it. What men report after following this protocol for 2 to 4 weeks is a consistent, predictable sequence of changes. First comes improved energy upon waking, the natural consequence of better overnight testosterone synthesis. Then comes the return of morning erections. The spontaneous early morning erections that most men over 50 have forgotten are a normal biological function. Finally, within 3 to 4 weeks, erection quality during intimacy improves, stronger, more reliable, and more sustained than men have experienced in years. Before I close, let me address something that most health videos gloss over. This protocol does not work in isolation from overall lifestyle. The olive oil provides testosterone synthesis substrate, but if your diet is simultaneously high in refined sugar and processed foods, which directly damage the Leydig cells olive oil is trying to fuel, the results will be muted. If you are chronically sleep deprived, and sleep deprivation reduces testosterone by 10 to 15% per night of poor sleep, the overnight production window that olive oil timing targets is compromised. If you are sedentary, exercise is one of the most powerful testosterone-supporting interventions known. The olive oil is working against a significant hormonal headwind. The protocol works most powerfully when combined with at least 7 hours of quality sleep, 30 to 45 minutes of moderate daily exercise, and a reduction in refined carbohydrates and alcohol. These are not optional extras. They are the biological platform on which this protocol stands. 30 days, 1 tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil with raw honey and black seed oil before bed every night, combined with adequate sleep and exercise. That is the commitment. That is what it takes to wake up feeling 25 again at 50. I am Dr. Calvin Harper. Have you tried olive oil at night? Comment yes or no right now. I will see you in the next video.